Hi, my name is Kamrul. I'm from College of Business, RMIT. Today we are here to talk about the way Coles and SecondBite is working in the supply chain. Coles is one of the top 20 retailers in the world. They do lots of good business. On top of that, what they can't sell, they try to help the poor or the community. So they do this kind of business through SecondBite. So SecondBite is coming to that scene. So we are here to know the way SecondBite is working. So Nick and Lucy, I will introduce more about, talk about SecondBite. Could you please tell us the way the organization is working in the whole supply chain to help the charity?
Absolutely. So SecondBite is a food rescue organisation. That's what we've been doing for 17 years, and for 12 of those we've partnered with Coles. So every day, anything that's unsold and edible that's within the Coles network, so whether that's their DCs or their stores, we will go and pick that up and we will take it out and give it to 1,000 odd charities that work around Australia to feed people for free. So how does that work? Essentially, we go to the back of stores, so you won't see us inside the stores. We're quietly working on the back dock. Coles will collect up all the food each day and they will deliver that to us at the back dock, and we will take our network of trucks and go out and collect it. It comes back to us and we sort through it all to work out, make sure it's the right thing and it's good, and then we will give that out to people. All of that is done with the support of Coles, and we give all of that for free. There's about 25 million kilos that we collect each year. 20 million of that comes from Coles.
Wow. So Nick, do you want to add anything?
Lucy's stolen most of the thunder on that one, but but yeah, our relationship with Coles is integral to what we do. From the people at store level that check the produce on the shelf, through to the people in their DCs that identify the quality of the stock to start with, as to whether it's up to scratch or whether it's something that we can put to good use. So, and everything in between sees us with a lot of stock that can go to places where it's really needed.
Yeah, SecondBite is not-for-profit organization. The name comes SecondBite or Second Life. Yeah, that's an excellent way to contribute to the circular economy and the society. Thank you. So next we'll discuss the way the whole supply chain logistics is working, mainly the inbound logistics, then warehouse, packing, consolidation, and then outbound logistics. Could you please explain the way whole logistics system work?
Yeah, so our stock comes in a variety of ways. So the stuff that comes back from the Coles stores is completely mixed. It comes in boxes, it's collected from the back of the store, loaded into our smaller vehicles, brought back here and consolidated. At the same time, we've got larger vehicles out on the road that will go to bulk collections, so that whether it's a DC or a production site or even a farm gate in some areas, we will fill that truck up, we'll come back with the bulk, and then we will generally intermix that with what we've received from the Coles stores and what we've received from the bulk donors. It's dependent upon what the agency needs are. So some of our charity agencies can handle bulk, others can only handle a set volume, but in variety. So we go through our lists each day of what needs to be fulfilled for the following day. We pick those orders. Some of the agencies will come and collect from us with their own vehicles. Others we will deliver to with many of the same vehicles that we do our collections. So to get the best use out of our fleet, the perfect scenario for us is the vehicle leaves full and it comes back full. So we will deliver on the way out, and then on the path back we will try and restock the vehicle for, again, the next day, so that flow can continue. Doesn't always work that way, but that is the general aim for our fleet.
It's a closed loop supply chain.
Yeah, largely. And what we will do as well, like we don't do the same loop every day, based on the patterns of our donors and the charities in the various areas. The trucks will do a different loop each day to make sure that we're servicing all the various areas that we can reach. One of our bigger challenges is that a truck can only drive so far in a day. So basically, if we draw a 3-hour circle around our site, that is our typical reach on an average day.
So we are here in warehouse. So how do you manage this warehouse? Do you have cross-docking, or how do you manage the whole thing? Packing, consolidation, lots of things are going on here.
There's an element of cross-dock,
Yeah.
but there's also an element of pick and pack.
Yep.
So cross-dock from point of view with the bulk
Yep.
side of things. So
Yep.
our agencies that can handle bulk, we are largely working like a cross-dock.
Ah.
The smaller agencies, we are working like pick and pack. So it's an interesting juggle each day, working out what's just going to go straight back out in the form that it came versus what needs to be turned into something else to match the need of the agency that it's going to.
Excellent. So now I'm talking about the transport and other things. So how do you optimize the whole routing and food mile things? Because lots of cost and lots of human factor, lots of things are involved. Availability of resources.
Yeah, so there's been a variety of things for us. So we've gone through quite the evolution over the last few years. So when I originally started with SecondBite, we ran a fleet of quite tired Mercedes Sprinter vans, which could only carry a maximum of 670 kilos. Even though you could probably squash more in there, its legal restriction, once you took into account its weight and the payload available, was 670 kilos. We've just worked through the process of changing to small trucks that are on a car class licence. They can carry between 1.1 and 1.2 tonnes each. So in a way, it doesn't sound like a huge difference, but when you've got 30-something vehicles across the country and every one of them has just had a 400 kilo upgrade, it makes a sizable difference to what we can carry. And it's not just that the vehicles can carry more, as they're also better laid out, so they're more efficient. Safer for our people and more efficient in terms of what they can carry and load and unload. From there, we go into a slightly larger range of vehicles. Anything from 8 pallet trucks that can carry 4 tonne to we've now taken possession of our first 14 pallet truck that can carry 13 tonnes in one trip. That has made a substantial difference to our optimisation. What we were having previously with our biggest vehicle at a 10 pallet truck, we were going back to sites 2 or 3 times a day to pick up everything that was available. Now we go in with a 14 pallet truck and we scoop it up in one go. So we're doing half the number of Ks for some of our collections, but we're also able to take more food each time we go out and do one of those larger loops. The basic rule is the bigger the volume of the truck, the further it can actually go for us and still be efficient.
So lots of things are going on. How about pallet things? Because I see reverse logistics is one of the way we can contribute towards sustainability. So what practices you do? Because I can see you are doing lots of things.
So the pallet topic's quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
Many people might know that there's been a substantial pallet shortage
Yes.
nationally and internationally.
Yep.
There's two main players in
Yes.
Australia, Shep and Loscam.
Yep.
With those shortages, if you weren't a big player in the industry,
Yep.
you were forgotten about at times because the big players were generally looked after first. The pallet situation has actually worked really well in our favour. We collect pallets more than we distribute them because of the way that people donate to us.
Okay.
So I've often got empty pallets that are in high demand. So we've actually struck up some relationships with some different donors because we give them the empty pallets and they give me stock back. So it's worked quite well for us. We've had some donors that we've never dealt with before, and through one of our logistics partners, they collected some pallets, handed them on, and the relationship started from there.
Excellent.
So it's actually been quite valuable to us.
It's good exchange. It's not money, it's a value.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So the technology is changing many things. So how technology is impacting the logistics and transport? Like, do you use sensor in the truck, or how do you control the quality of food? Are you using any technology, hardware or software?
Yeah, so we have introduced some new things to our fleet in recent times. We now use a different type of tracking that has optional temperature sensors attached to it. And that's been really quite interesting. It assists us in demonstrating that we've maintained cold chains, particularly in our larger vehicles that are going to sites with stricter controls. We can demonstrate from start to finish that we have handled the food in a safe and efficient manner. Those same sensors are also integrated into our cool rooms here, so we can actually prove the temperature that for the entire duration that we've had a product,
Yeah.
what temperature it's been kept at for that entire time. So it helps us, with a degree of confidence, or a greater degree of confidence, really, in what we're distributing and those sorts of things. And it also makes our recipients more confident as well with what they're receiving.
So how about the using Internet of Things? How about the drivers? Do they use any like small apps so that they can, they are in the middle of the whole supply chain, so they can tell you what's going on?
Yeah, so we've got quite an outdated app that has served us really well.
Yeah.
I can't quite recall how long we've had it,
Yeah.
but it is quite ancient
Yeah.
by app terms. And it's supported on a web-based server,
Yep.
and that's used to record the weights
Excellent.
of what we've collected and also what we're distributing. We're in the final stages now of developing a new app, which will give us a significantly greater ability to visualise some of the things that are happening out there. So one of the things that can happen to us with some of the sites we go to that are a regular site,
Yep.
so the truck is booked on a daily basis to go there. We might always be booked to go there, but we might not always come away successful. So the new app is going to help us identify the reasons we're coming away unsuccessful and help us work out whether this is still a viable relationship or if we need to perhaps put our energy somewhere else.
Do you control your trucks from here, from a control room?
Certainly not as fancy as Linfox. I can see where my vehicles are, and I can cross-reference that to the app and what the app says has been done so far in the day. So it's not an integrated system, and it's often used, the way we tend to use it is we can sometimes get a donation offer on the day.
Excellent.
There's been more than one occasion where I'll call the truck and I'll tell him to pull over until I give him further instructions. So you can see him on the screen sitting there. I finish the phone call with the donor and then I tell the truck to head in a different direction. And that's secured some sizable volumes of high quality stock for us, and also then put us in the front seat next time that donor has something available because we were able to solve a problem for them at the same time.
I think what it's also doing for us is we can track our drivers, we can track their driver hours, we can track, are they a safe driver?
Yes.
Are they speeding?
Yes.
Not everybody follows the rules all the time, but with chain of responsibility laws, and the responsibility that comes with that, we need to be on top of that. So for us, looking at the technology and where it's going will help us manage that far better. The weights of our trucks, the system that Nick talks about in an integrated fashion,
Yes.
we can tell where is the truck, how is the driver doing, has he had his lunch break,
Yes.
is the truck overloaded, is it likely to be overloaded today? It won't be overloaded, but could it be? In the past, we had none of that visibility. The new trucks that we're purchasing, the old vans are just a van. They don't have any particular safety things within them, whereas our new trucks have all the things. They look at driver fatigue. They can tell if a driver is starting to lose concentration, and it will buzz the seat to tell him to wake up and to pull over. So the advances in technology to make sure that trucks on roads are safe has come such a long way. But for SecondBite, it's a key input, financial input for us. So we're a little slower to get there than some, but we're certainly using the technology available now.
Thank you, Lucy. That was my question to ask. How do you manage safety through technology? So you have answered the question. Thank you so much to tell about the whole supply chain and logistics, the way it works, including safety, and then all the human factor issues that you tackle through technology. So that will be good learning for us in our classroom. Thank you so much.